I've been told, the team have told me that it's pretty simple and not even I can cock this up. So we'll see. I'll have a good go of it, no doubt. So, right, my instructions were, step 1, move your chair. So, move my chair. Let's have a look. Okay, step 1. So far, so good. Step 2, move your piece of paper. Step 3, turn the lights off. So wait there and I'll be back in 1 second. How's that looking? Give me a thumbs up if you can see that screen there. Give me a thumbs up. Give us a like if you can see that screen. Right, guys, what I'm going to do, just so I'm in the shot here, what I'm going to do, in fact, I'm going to bring my chair back into the picture for a sec. I'm going to bring my chair back in. So, I know there's that light behind. In fact, what I'm going to do is just put that on there again for a second. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing here is we're going to go into finding deals. So I'm on Rightmove, nothing flash. We're on Rightmove. I'm going to type in my local area and we're going to just see what's available. We're just going to have a look, and I don't know. I've not been on for a couple of weeks, so I don't know what's there, and I didn't prep neither because I know that there'll be somewhere that we can create deals out of. So, right, let's have a look. So, TS10, let me have a look. So you should be able to see me right in that. So TS10, for sale. Let's have a look. So I normally do this off my phone, so it's be a bit different. So this postcode only, property type, find properties. Let's hit that. Let's see what we've got. And then I'm going to click, lowest priced first. So generally, when you get a lower end property, you'll get a better ROI, you'll get a better margin from the particular property. So let's have a look. You normally have a couple of sort of sponsored, featured ones first. So I'm sliding up. So we're starting here. We've got a couple of apartments. So actually, this is a good one. This one here, can you see that cursor? So this particular property here, £25,000 for a 2-bedroom flat. So that flat, them apartments there in my local area, actually they're quite close to my house. I bought one of them 2 years ago and I paid £13,000 for it. So I actually got it almost 50% less than what's on there. So let's keep scrolling, let's have a look. So the issue with properties that are under 50 grand is it's harder to get a mortgage. Now you can get a mortgage, but you're going to very select lenders and then your interest rates are a lot higher. So you start paying like 7.5% upwards. Or you can do what I did. So if you find a property and it's below 50 grand and there's not a lender there, you can do a portfolio lend. So you can, I added one of those little ones on with another property that I had, and we tied them both into one mortgage. So that's another little creative strategy you can use. Okay, so let's have a look. We're scrolling through. I'm going to pass these apartments. These ones here at 44 grand, 2-bedroom apartments. They used to sell for 125 grand. One of my mates used to live in one of them. Really nice apartments. and they're now selling for 44 grand. And the reason for that is the person who built them fucked up. And the reason they fucked up was they put too much of a high service charge on there. So the ground rent and the service charge on them apartments, it's really high. So people don't want to touch them, because once you've bought the apartment, you've got these massive annual fees. So people don't want to go near them, and that's why they've lost so much in value. The owner, the freehold, so you get freehold and leasehold. The freeholder who holds the ground on them apartments, if I was the freeholder, the smart thing to do would be to get all of them leases changed and reduce the amounts. If they reduce the amounts, them apartments would start selling again. And then the freeholder would be getting more money in, because he'd have the ground rent from them apartments. So whoever it is, I don't know who owns them or who built them, but they haven't got a great strategy. And that's me just being honest. This is a thing when you're renting out properties, and it ties in with what I'm saying here. The amount of landlords that I see, so just think of this now, right? In fact, you go get a pen and paper and a calculator, and you can work this out with me, because I want you to do that anyway while we're doing this today. So the amount of landlords I see, let's say for example, you could get 500 quid a month for a property to let out, and the landlord's squeezing for 525 or something like that, or 550 quid. So they're squeezing for an extra 50 quid. So instead of 500 a month, they want 550 a month. Now, because they're pressing the ceiling height, the apartment or the house stays empty for, say, 2 months. Now, if you deduct 2 months' rent that they've actually lost versus me, who will go put my house on the market for 500 and let it out instantly, they will lose more money than what I will by trying to squeeze the price and finding that one tenant who will pay the difference. So if you work it out, if I get 500 quid a month on a house, times by 12, that's 6 grand in a year. Now, if they're pushing for 550, but they've now got the property empty for 2 months, they've got 10 months at 550 quid. So they're going to get 5,500, yet I've brought in 6,000 just by being slick and keeping my pricing right. So landlords that try and squeeze these prices all the time, it's just daft, it doesn't work. I look at how many shops in the high street are empty, and people say that retail's dead. Well, I'm proof of that it isn't, because we've got, over the last 12 months, we've got 7 properties, I believe. Let me think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, 7 retail, and there's been none of them empty at all. There's been no void periods at all, period. Because I've got the pricing right. I'm not trying to squeeze ridiculous amounts. So trying to squeeze the extra amount, it just doesn't work. You've got to be smart with this. Okay, let's scroll on. Right, okay. So we've come to a house here. Can you see this one? I'm going to click into this one. So we've got a 2-bedroom house for sale, offers in excess of 50 grand. So it's ticking the 50 grand box, so we can now get a mortgage on it. So let's have a look at it. So can I blow that up? Yeah. So let's have a look. Right. So we've got there a 2-bedroom terraced house for sale, and its offers in excess of 50 grand. Let's have a little look inside of it. Kitchen doesn't look too bad at all. That's more than adequate for renting. It's got some sort of laminate or lino down. That looks sound. Carpets could probably do with a clean, but here's the thing. Somebody's selling that property there, and if you look at that picture, it looks a bit tatty. For the sake of spending 50 quid and cleaning them carpets up and putting a light shade on there, on that light, you'd have a completely different looking property. Rather than looking at that and going, oh, that looks a bit grubby, if you put a nice light shade on that and clean them carpets, that probably wouldn't be sat there. It makes a big difference. So let's have a look. Front room, bedroom, bathroom looks fine. Decent sized garden. Grass just needs a bit of a cut. So there you have a 2-bedroom property for 50 grand. So straight away, there's a property. We found it instantly. There's a property. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the figures on that particular deal. So on that property that we found, let me just move that back a bit. So on that property we found, it was 50 grand. Yeah, 50 grand. So 50k. So you could buy that for £50,000 and it's a 2-bedroom house. Now for a house like that, you'd probably get about £475 a month. So you'd get £475 per calendar month. So somebody do the figures, tell me what I'd get after 12 months. Someone tell me what I'd get after 12 months. 475 times by 12, what's the annual amount that I'll get? Someone tell me what's the annual amount. Let's have a look. First person to answer it, come on. Who's going to answer it first? So we've bought a 50k house, 5,700. 5,700? 5,700. Okay. So 5,700 per annum. So let's do the figures on it. So we know that we can buy it for 50 grand. Cover that. We know we can buy it for 50 grand. We can rent it out for 475. So we can generate 5,700 a year off that particular property. Okay. Right, let's draw a line underneath that. So, in fact, I'm going to use a different sheet of paper. So, if we've got 50 grand, and we're going to say we need a 20% deposit, so we can get an 80% mortgage. So on 50k, we're going to need a 10k deposit. So we're going to need 10 grand for our deposit. Stamp is 3%. So 3% of 50 grand is 1,500. So 1.5k for the stamp. Stamp duty, land tax, SDLT. And then we're going to say, for ease of maths, let's say we need 1,000 quid for our solicitors. Still in the screen, all right. 1,000 for our solicitors. Let's say we need £1,000, 500 quid for the valuation. So 0.5k for the val. We probably want to clean those carpets up, give it a bit of a freshen, put a couple of light shades on and bits like that, but you'd get away with probably spending £1,000 on that. So we're going to say a light sort of refurb. It's not even really a refurb, is it? It's literally clean the carpets, put a couple of light shades on, maybe freshen up a little bit of the gloss work or something like that. So now we've got to add it up. So we've got 10,000 plus 1,500 for the stamp, plus 1,000 for solicitors, 500 quid for the valuation and £1,000 for the refurb. So let's add it up. So we've got 10, 11.5, 12.5, 13, 14. So we need 14 grand. So we need 14k to buy that property. So if we've got a 10 grand deposit off our 50, it means we've now got a mortgage for 40 grand. Everyone agree with that? Give me a thumbs up if you agree with that. We've got 10 grand deposit off the 50, means we need 40 grand for our mortgage. Give me a thumbs up if you're still with me. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up if you're with me. Good, 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 good. So how much of my screen have I got left? So that means now, so we know we need 14, so I'm going to go on to the next screen. So we need 14,000, that's what we need to find. So we've got a mortgage of 40k. And let's say at the moment you get a mortgage for 4%. That's quite high. You're going to get it for less than that. So let's say it was 4%. So we're actually going on the side of caution. So 4% of 40 grand would be 1,600 per annum. So the way to do that is, if you've got your calculator, is 40,000 times by 4 divided by 100. And that'll give you 1,600. That is your interest only payments on that 50 grand house. So 1,600 per annum. Now, we know we were going to bring in 5,700. So we now need to minus off the mortgage amount. So if we've got 5,700 minus the 1,600, it equals first person to answer it. 5,700 minus 1,600 equals, come on, who's going to be first? 5,700 minus 1,600 equals 4,100. Well done, okay. So 4,100, that's our profit. So that's our profit off the back of the deal. Now, if you get your deals right, and you've got this margin, you can afford now to lose how many, let's go back a page. So we were bringing in 475 per calendar month, and you know now you've got a margin of 4,100. So how many months can you afford for that property to be out and still make a profit? So let's say you had a real terrible year, and I've never ever had this. I've never had a property that's been empty for more than a month, ever. And that's in 15 years of doing what I'm doing. So let's say you had it empty for 3 months and you knocked another 1,500 quid off that. So you had a real shit year and you lost 3 months worth of rent. You are still over 2.5 grand in profit. Let's say that a boiler broke and you needed another £1.5 grand to replace a boiler. You're still £1,000 in profit, and that's to have a dreadful year. That's if a boiler broke and you had these void periods as well. Some of my tenants have been in my properties for over 10 years, constantly just paying direct debit into the bank, and it's just there all the time. So when you've got a margin, if you've got any repairs or anything like that, it comes out of here. It should never be coming out of your own pocket. It comes out of the margin. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to work out the ROI.